Ay,
Yan.
Yeah,
yun.
Yan.
let's go.
We're live na.
Ay,
Yes.
tayo naman.
Yes, live na
Alright.
tayo.
Hi,
Wait
hi
lang, wait
guys.
lang.
Hello.
See, what's up? What's up? Good evening, guys. What's up? Welcome to Blip Bytes. This is episode 2. Ang bilis, no? Grabe. I am your host for the night. I'm Ram Ronquillo. We have our editor-in-chief, Emman. We have our PC lead, Grant Soriano, and somewhere in the background is our news writer, Migs. How's everyone? Yun, the voice of God. Dalawa lang. Kumusta, Eman? Kumusta?
Good. No? Good. I'm good. All good.
Mukhang ibang ano natin mukhang iba yung camera setup natin ngayon
Yeah.
New angle per episode.
It's wala last week. Last time kasi naka-phone and now I'm trying a different setup.
Can our fans expect a different angle per episode?
Tingnan natin.
para feature mo yung yung studio mo.
Naku, hindi na maka-feature.
Ikaw Grant, kamusta?
Ayun, so I just came from the ASUS event. Wala namang NDA dun, so I would like to extend our congratulations kay ASUS for being the #1 gaming monitor brand in Lazada for 2 consecutive years.
Ooh,
So for those listening or watching, by Monday they will release a promo, no? So I guess you guys have the early sneak peek. So abangan nyo especially if you're looking for a monitor.
Yun.
I guess that's all that I can say kasi hindi pa nila sinabi kung anong models. They'll send the PR by Monday so ayun na guys, ready your inboxes.
ano yung pinanood nyo?
No Way Home, nagpa-screening sila. And
okay.
Doon ko lang napansin kasi it's my second time watching No Way Home. Doon ko lang napansin na they're using the ROG Zephyrus laptop in one of the scenes, yung nung in one of the scenes. Ayoko mag-spoil kasi probably muntik na. But yeah, so for me, galing ko from Podium ASUS event. So far so good. I'm very happy na ako.
Medyo choppy tayo.
Hello. Yan.
Yan. Okay, go.
So, yan, I'm very happy na paunti-unti may physical event na, and kudos to ASUS for sending us test kits before we do the event.
Responsible sila.
Yes, yeah. As should. Okay, ito na. The man of the hour. Mr. Migs Palispis.
Hello.
Kumusta?
Ayos lang mga sir. Medyo kabado. First time.
Para sa mga di na nakilala dahil medyo bago ka sa team, you wanna introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Miguel Palispis. News writer ng Gadget Pilipinas. Ako yung minion ni Ram. Si Ram ang aking guru. Si Master Guru si Sir Emman.
Yeah, Master Guru. Anong background mo, sir? Like, anong hilig mo?
Galing ako sa mga music stuff. So, audio engineering.
Kala ko sasabihin niya white brown. Natanong mo ba?
Ayun. Tapos biglang napunta sa tech writing, mga news, ganyan. Masaya naman. Medyo naninibago pa, tsaka marami pa akong
totoo ba yan? Seryoso
pinag-aaralan.
Seryoso yan, ha? Hindi yan walang yan, ha? Baka mamaya deep inside.
Ayoko dito.
Inside, napipilitan ka na lang pala. Sabihin mo lang.
Nagmo-Morse code na pala siya, pumipikit-pikit yung mata. Masaya dito.
Balik. Hala ko kay kay Master Guru Emman.
Master Guru.
All right, if you guys didn't know, we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy S2 series, which they released Wednesday. Remember correctly? Yeah, I think Wednesday. Yep. So the series includes the Galaxy S22, S22 Plus, and the S22 Ultra, all of which are very, very interesting phones.
Akala ko,
Ano?
akala ko S22, S22 Plus, and the Galaxy Note. Ay, sorry.
Right.
Akala ko bumalik yung Note series eh.
With that, would you like to introduce the? Do we start with the Ultra? What where do you guys want to start? The Ultra,
Sige.
or
Kahit
do
in
we start
general,
small?
kahit in general na lang muna siguro, and then we can talk about each device.
Mhm.
And then we can talk about each aspect, no, across the three para hindi tayo matagalan, no. Ayun.
Yeah. I
Uh,
think I'll open this with one of the more interesting topics that we can talk about with the S22 series, which is the processor.
mhm.
At the core of it all.
Yep.
The S22 series was initially expected to have, was rumored to have a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, is it?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
But there were rumors that said 895
Actually, yeah.
or Exynos or the Exynos 2200. But
Mm.
in the end, what was released was a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, thankfully, I guess. What do you guys think
So
with
what
this?
basically happened is that, well, initially what they said was it was the 895, no.
Mhm.
Actually, nung narinig ko yun, 895, taka ako, sabi ko, is there a 895, no? Snapdragon 895 that's in existence, no?
Mhm.
So search ako eh.
Hmm.
I mean, there were some topics about it, but nothing really that was official na it came out, no? So I thought baka bago, no? Baka ito yung first device na meron nun, no? And then so yun, we already wrote nakita niyo na yung video.
Mm. Yep.
Andun na lahat. Nandiyan na, nakalimutan na lahat. In fact, it was all nailabas na yung content or some of it,
Mm.
no? At least yung
Yeah.
yung omnibus tsaka yung video
Yeah.
during the launch. And then parang ang nangyari kasi is like nagkaroon ng argument sa ibang publication na people are saying na hindi yan 895, it's Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, no?
Mhm.
So we kept insisting na it's an 895 because that's what Samsung said, no?
Mm.
And then ayun, so we clarified with them, and then yun nga, apparently there was miscommunication, no?
Mhm.
Initially that their team was given the wrong information, no? So and then ang nangyari is that it's actually a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1
8
pala.
Gen 1.
So yun yung story dun. What's another interesting about it is that this is the first time in a while, no, na binigyan tayo ng Snapdragon variant sa S series.
Mhm.
No, kasi we used to only get the Exynos variant, no? Which is actually a bit nakakatawa ng konti kasi ito pa naman yung interesting version ng Exynos, yung Exynos 2200, no?
Mhm.
Because it's got a AMD GPU there, no? So it's the first, no, na magkaroon ng RDNA 2, I think.
Mhm.
And then ngayon pa tayo nagka-Snapdragon. so alam mo yan, yung kating-kati tayo na uy, finally may Exynos na bago na, we can really say na parang yung curiosity, yung hype for it was really, high, kasi it was the first of its kind. And then finally, and then na yun, biglang Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 para tayo. So that's the story about it. Now, I mean, not to say anything bad against the 8 Gen 1, no. It's still the flagship SoC, no. But personally, yun nga, for the first time, no, personally, I would have wanted na to experience that Exynos.
Exynos,
No,
yeah.
kasi it was new. It was the first of its kind. So
Yeah.
so yeah. Pero ganun talaga. I guess we don't know the issue, the why, no? We don't know the actual why kung bakit ganun yung nangyari, no?
Yeah.
So it could be it could be supply issues. Ayan. Or, yeah.
I think Julian Robin CB on YouTube, I think he has a good question. Thoughts on the chaos of the 895 versus Gen 1?
Ayun, sige, someone want to answer or about it or ano? Ako na.
You can go, yeah.
Okay, sige. Okay, so to answer that question, yeah, it could also, ang sabi kasi ni Julian is that baka di talaga confident si Samsung sa Exynos 2200, no? If they only limited it to few markets. Or it could also be because of the chip shortage. No?
Yeah.
Kasi there's a global chip shortage happening right now. And baka hindi umabot yung supply, no? It's also possible. Another yeah. And yun, yung sa PR, well, ando na yun eh. I mean, the thing naman kasi is that nanggaling naman yun sa taas. So,
Yeah.
whatever the regional or the HQ says, yun yung ilalabas nila. So,
Yeah.
kung mali yung dumating, mali din talaga ilalabas.
Yeah,
So, I think the most important thing there is na-correct naman nila, no?
Yeah.
At the soonest possible time. Kasi I think si Qualcomm also issued a PR about it, no?
Oh, okay.
Yun. And then yun, another theory about yung Exynos 2200 is I would think na it's also possible that they're trying to maintain pricing, no? Na baka mamaya dahil nga shortage ng Exynos 2200, syempre, baka mas mahal siyang gawin, no?
I-offer, yeah.
Kaysa build, 'di ba? Mas mahal siyang gawin, mas mahal siyang manufacture. So baka hindi meron silang price range na mini-maintain.
Yeah.
It could be like that, no? It could be. I think the best way to find out is, we should ask them.
Yeah.
When we can. Yeah. But that's yun yung mga theories about it. That yun yung mga possibility. How about you guys? Do you have any theories on what happened? No?
I think before we continue, I think we should preface that the only thing we can do right now, because there's nothing official from Samsung, is to theorize why this is the case. So anything that we think say is merely us guessing and trying to
It's just
logically figure out why
that's why it's a theory, Kaya
yeah.
parang,
We're just merely theorizing.
it's a speculation lang, from the best of our knowledge.
Yeah. Oh, before we continue pala, if you guys want to hear our thoughts on the Exynos 2200, back when, it was before launched, you can catch our previous episode. It's on all the podcast websites and links that you for like, honestly, for me, I think it's more of a shortage thing more than anything. I think I'm guessing Snapdragon, like Qualcomm has more supply of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 or 895. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense din kasi
Yeah.
because hindi lang naman si Samsung yung gumagamit ng Snapdragon 8 Gen
Yeah.
1.
So I think they
Oo.
have
So,
I think that drives mainly the reason why they pushed the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1
yeah.
for the devices rather than the Exynos 2200. Although I would want to see an Exynos 2200. I honestly didn't mind like the different variants. But I think this time around I would want to see a comparison of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 and the Exynos 2200 only because the Exynos 200 has as Emman mentioned, has an AMD or DNA2 GPU. So that
Yeah.
would be interesting. That would be really interesting to compare.
Yeah.
For me, I have a
Uh,
theory dun sa
hmm,
sa medyo lately kanina ko lang naisip yung theory about the 895 versus the Gen 1. But quick disclaimer for those listening slash watching,
yeah.
I'm not as subscribed sa news with the Galaxy S22, so not as as immersed as Emman and Ram, but for
Yeah.
me this is coming from the PC perspective, no, yung sinabi nyo kanina na HQ nang galing ganyan. I think
Hmm.
the 895 quote unquote may chance siya na it's an internal code name. Tapos
Uh,
Gen 1 yung naging sa market kasi 'di ba
hmm,
there's a trend now na inaayos ng brands yung naming nila na it's not na hindi na siya ma-numbers, usually words and
hmm,
numbers na. And
yeah.
sa tech industry it's actually very common kasi 'di ba for AMD you have yung Zen 1 nila Summit Ridge, yung
Yeah.
second gen nila Pinnacle Ridge, Zen 3
Hmm.
Zen 3 nila is Matisse, which is usually hindi alam yun ng mga tao, ang alam lang nila
Hmm.
3000, 2000, o kaya yung Zen Plus, Zen 2, 'di
True.
ba? And for the Nvidia side naman, which is common yung internal code names nila like Maxwell, Pascal, Turing, Ampere. So I guess
Hmm.
parang lost in translation somewhere yung Samsung with the 895, baka yun yung internal nila, but then yung product name na talaga mismo is the 8 Gen 1.
Yeah. True.
But that's for me. I don't know that much sa Snapdragon and Samsung
Samsung. Yeah.
in that technical detail.
Hmm.
But that's just my hunch, no. Naalala ko lang bigla kasi okay, nga no, yung mga kanyang code names, baka lang code name siya.
Yeah.
And
That actually
ayan.
makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Ikaw, Migs, ano masasabi mo sa ganap?
Sa tingin ko kasi may momentum na kasi yung production ng Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So parang ang hirap na biglang isabay ng Samsung yung Exynos sa
Hmm.
launch.
Mhm.
So parang feeling ko yun muna yung iniisip nila na parang since nag-start na yung production ng Snapdragon, yun na lang muna yung gamitin natin. Parang
Could be.
yun yung naiisip ko.
Could be. Yeah.
That's actually
Parang to get as many phones to
Para lang
yeah.
mailabas na tapos
to get
gawa
as
na lang
many
ng
phones to
parang
people, no?
refresh. Oo.
And then later na lang when it's confident na sila sa stocks and then go.
Oo.
That actually makes
Possible,
more
yeah.
sense. And in addition, parang it will allow the hype to stay there, especially once they release the Exynos edition.
Yeah.
But I hope they release an Exynos 2200 edition. Right? That'd be
Yeah.
that'd be
Mga
cool.
refresh
Yeah.
version.
Yeah.
As to where that 895 came from, no, paano yun nakarating, paano yun nakababa sa PR level, hindi ko
Yeah.
alam. So, hi
What's up,
France.
France?
Hello.
What's
Hi
up,
France.
France from ASUS. What's up? How
Sir
you doing?
France. Ayan. So that's a chip thing.
For the Exynos versus Snapdragon,
Hmm.
I have a concern na coming from the experience ko din with the PC market
Okay.
is I'm excited to see how the gray market sellers will price both the units, 'di ba? Kasi if one is higher, it's one is higher priced by 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, meaning mas may demand sa specific processor na 'yon.
Yeah.
And I want to ask you guys kasi kayo yung years nang nagfa-follow sa Samsung flagship line.
Mhm.
Ano sa tingin nyo when it comes to gray market kasi it's a good indicator versus our local market na isang unit lang. Ano sa tingin nyo for gray markets, which variant will be priced higher? Or at least which variant yung hahanapin? Kasi some people, 'di ba, local stocks aside, some people kasi want to buy gray pa rin kasi to get that extra 2,000, extra 3,000 off.
Mm.
But then again, yung status dito is if both units are available from a single seller
Mhm.
na parang enclose lang tayo dun sa setting na yun. Which processor do you think will sell out first or is
Ooh,
more premium?
that's an interesting question. I'll go first. I honestly think, as far as hype goes, I think the Exynos will be more sought after. Me personally, I'm more interested in the Exynos 2200. Because of the new GPU, which I don't think we'll ever see in any other smartphone out in the market. Whereas the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, we've already seen on multiple smart flagships as it is. So I think the Exynos would be a bit more interesting than the Snapdragon version. That's for me. Ikaw, Emman.
Well, alam naman natin dito sa Pilipinas, guys.
Hmm.
Yung stigma,
Hmm.
'di ba? Yung stigma ng Exynos versus Snapdragon.
Hmm.
Unless people are, doing their research,
Yeah.
no? I think that the Snapdragon variant will still sell more.
Hmm.
Kasi may stigma kasi, 'di ba?
Yeah,
May
that's
stigma
true.
So until people like us tell them na one side is better than the other, no? Kumbaga kung ma-educate natin sila kung ano man yung magiging resulta ng comparison, that's the only time, no? Or if for the people who do the research, of course,
Hmm.
not everybody does, no?
Mhm.
Kaya yun yung I guess initially habang wala pa yung mga comparison, yung mga yung data, no? I think the Snapdragon variant will sell more, no?
Hmm.
As to whether the Exynos variant will catch up, if ever, depende yun. Depende kung may manonood ba sa sa depende kung yun nga, depende ba kung if people will try to find out, no?
Yeah,
Which one is
that's true.
better. Kasi if they don't, stigma lang gagamitin nila. Doon sila sa binili ni ganito eh.
Yeah.
Yun
So
na yung
yun,
sure, yun na yung
yun,
isa.
yun bibiling ko.
Hmm.
Binili ng mga kaibigan ko Snapdragon. So, ba't ako mag-iiba?
Yeah.
Diba?
Hindi ako makalaro ng ML dyan.
Unless you're that person na, okay, I'll be different.
Yeah.
Which takes a lot of, when you're in a group of people na doing getting the same things,
Yep.
tapos ikaw yung mahirap yun. Pero yun nga, depende na lang if people will do the research and whenever the data comes out, no?
Yeah.
So
So
for those,
I actually hope
yeah.
na meron tayong I think the chances are remote, but I hope that we get to try both.
True.
Kasi at some point, some YouTuber there will be able to. So so I hope tayo din.
Yes,
You
kaya
you
nga
were
dun
saying, go.
for those speaking of research, for those wanting to research, we have an article, Samsung Galaxy S22 series, everything you need to know by
Yeah.
Sir Giancarlo.
Tons
Yeah.
of
May
website.
video pa yun.
Gigil
Oh.
ako i-segue kasi before going to the stream, I've been reading the article and then, ang dami kong kaagad nalaman, di ba?
Uy,
So
si
that's
Mr.
just a
guys, by the way,
5-minute read or less.
si Mr.
So
Vince,
it pays
house
to do
on
your
is
research.
Mr. Vince
Yeah.
Housen of the Geeks is here. Nanonood siya.
What's up,
Ayan.
Vince?
Hey, Vince.
Ikaw, Migs, I know you're new to the tech world, but you've already written so much. Anong tingin mo yung mas bebenta? Yung Exynos o yung Qualcomm?
Feeling ko dahil sa yung mga Pinoy parang karamihan kung ano yung nakasanayan.
Hmm.
Yep.
So, yun. So, parang nakasanayan na, basta Qualcomm, sure na tayo dyan. Parang ganun.
Hmm.
Pero yun nga, sana nga, mabigyan yung Exynos kasi interesting talaga yung gusto ko rin
Yung
malaman yung GPU performance kasi
Yeah.
parang ako, hindi ako masyado fan ng mobile gaming pero pag itong Exynos, medyo naging successful siya, baka subukan ko na maglaro talaga ng mobile games. Yun, parang ganun yung tingin ko sa kanya.
Hmm. Here's a question. Do you think people will mind if let's say Samsung releases an Exynos version? Do you think people like general public will mind if it's an Exynos version or in a Qualcomm version?
Sorry again.
Will do you think the general public will can tell the difference if Samsung re-releases an Exynos version?
Sige, ikaw muna.
Now
Go,
recording.
go ahead. I think I
Ah.
open the floor to anyone.
I wanna go first. Who wants to go first?
Ako, I can.
Sige, sige.
Since,
Go.
Yeah, go.
since there's a bit of involved naman. Again, me relating my answer to the PC market, 'di ba? If Samsung releases two variants or both variants at the convenience of the user,
Mhm.
babalik tayo dun sa kung anong edge nung processor. So processor A versus processor V or Exynos versus Snapdragon,
Mhm.
which is based on the listings, the announcements, the AMD RDNA 2 mobile processor, di ba? But then again, a quick search from Google
Mhm.
shows na parang correct me guys, parang walang partnership si Samsung with the games that will take advantage of this AMD chip. Meron ba silang game na
Yeah,
pinair doon?
parang wala pa ata siyang in-announce. Yeah.
Kasi 'di ba usually you see ROG with Free Fire, Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
And I think yun yung lacking sa Samsung. But
Yeah.
then again, if na-activate nila yun na sabi mo may specific partnership or kunyari say PUBG Mobile enabled this type of rendering technique na exclusive lang sa Exynos chips with the AMD GPU,
Mhm.
then I think yun yung pipiliin ng tao kasi it's an extra feature that they will have. And then again, going back to my statement last month, diba, it's better to have it than not need it, than
Mhm.
to need it but not have it. But
Mhm.
ayun na, pag tinanggal mo naman yun and it's just a matter of 5% at most or 10% performance difference, everything else is equal. I think it will boil down to the price kung ano yung lower in some stores or
Yun, sa presyo na
siguro nga
talaga.
stigma will dictate na on kung ano yung bibilhin nila. It depends on the type of the consumer, I guess. For enthusiasts naman kasi, they have their reasons with a solid foundation kung bakit yung variant na yun kukunin nila. But for regular customers, lalo na yung mga mag-impulse buy, no, na kayang, okay, gusto ko bigla ng Samsung, bibili lang bigla sa store. I think they'll
That's
take what's available. And knowing the general phone market, especially yung mga ganyang high-end phones na around 50K, 60K plus, I think people will go for the larger storage kung anong available. Kasi 'di ba
Mhm.
there are some, well, sa PC may ibang variants or may ibang packages na you have a stronger processor pero the bundled memory or the bundled SSD is much lower. So yung ibang tao mas pinipili nila yung high capacity storage. So if there's that factor din,
Mhm.
it will go down to the storage part din.
Mhm.
But ayun nga, to summarize, if there's an exclusive feature,
Mhm.
not just spec, then they'll go for the one that has it. If wala, they'll go for the cheapest. For me, that's what I think for the Samsung Galaxy S22 customers.
Yeah, parang gano'n din yung naiisip ko, eh. Kasi kung katulad nito sinasabi nila na yung Exynos nga AMD yung GPU. So, parang kailangan may mga games na parang optimized dun sa GPU na yun para makakuha sila ng atensyon.
Hmm.
So, kung wala yun parang ang hirap labanan ng Qualcomm chip.
Yeah.
Sa gaming perspective lang.
Gets. Emman?
Yep. Syempre kasi yung, if I have like if you're gonna spend like around 80,000 on a phone, chances are you'd probably take the safe route, you know.
Hmm.
So, Matic. Snapdragon na lang ako. Diba?
Yep.
But, syempre may mga exception to the rule, no? May mga tao na, kasi you have to also understand na since it's a first generation ng processor na ganyan, you're basically taking a risk, no?
Mhm.
You're taking a risk kasi at launch, ilang games yung optimized para dyan sa processor na yan, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Ilang games yung bang nilalaro mong game aandar na dyan ngayon at maximum settings.
Hmm.
If not, gaano katagal bago ma-optimize yan, 'di
Hmm.
ba? Aabutin ba ng next year? 'Di ba? 'Di ba?
Fair.
So there are a lot of what ifs when you're jumping on first gen, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi nga yun nga, you're sort of the guinea pig, no?
Mhm.
ng first gen, no? So if you're gonna spend that much money, chances are you'd go the safe route. But yun nga, except for some people or for many people din naman na willing to take the risk, no, to try something new. But if I only had that much money in my hands, kasi yun na yung sagad ng budget ko, no,
Hmm.
ibabato ko na lang dun sa sigurado ako, no, parang
Yep.
ganun.
Points.
May
Fair
noob
point.
question pala ako.
Oh, go.
Yung Samsung ba, kasi ngayon lang din ako nakakasunod sa Samsung talaga, eh.
Okay.
May division ba sila for esports? I mean mobile esports.
Mobile esports.
You mean if they have an esports team o meron silang
Yung I
sariling
mean, 'di ba
sa
yung iba kasing brands may parang mga phone sila na mina-market nila as pang
Pang
esports or
esports.
pang
So gaming device.
high-end gaming o parang gano'n.
Oh.
Kasi naisip ko yung Exynos, kung gusto talaga nila yun maka-penetrate sa market, parang puwede siguro nilang gawin na i-market yun as parang yung refresh version nung Samsung na pang esports, parang gano'n.
That's true. That's true.
Pwede. Yeah.
Samsung,
Maybe lang.
maybe.
They have one. They have.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ayun, puwede nilang kasi parang ang hirap talaga lalo na dito sa Pilipinas matigas ulo ng mga tao sa ganyan.
Yeah, and
Kaya ayun. That's why it's like kaya nang maganda sana kung if there were people like us who could educate them, no. Kaya lang ang problema naman is will we get our hands on the other variant, no?
Yeah.
Kasi some people they buy. Some people they actually buy the the stuff, no, for them to review pag wala talaga. So kung wala naman dito, anong gagawin natin? 'Di ba? So yun kaya it would be nice, no? It would be nice if we could try both. 'Di ba?
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
you've
true.
got that pros and cons. Ayan.
Uy, Andrew.
Yun,
What's up,
no?
Andrew?
Mukhang kilala ni Mr. Migs.
Yep. Good
Andrew
friend.
Lauchenko says, good to know that Samsung's S22 phones now provide 4 years of Android support. Let's go.
Yep.
Yes. 4
I
years.
think they they added, I think, another year, if I'm not
Mm.
mistaken, to the Android support. So it
Sa mga
because
flagship nila.
yeah, to their flagship devices. Do you want to go a bit on detail on this, Mig? Since I know you wrote this.
Yung bale ang ginawa ng Samsung kasi dati parang pare-parehas lang yung haba nung ano nung
Updates.
parang updates.
Yeah.
Tas ginawa nila ngayon para siguro pang-entice na rin sa mga tao na bumili ng flagships nila. Yun nga, dinagdagan nila ng 1 year, parang 4 years na kasama yung major OS updates tapos 5 years worth ng security patches. So yun, parang parang additional ano lang siya talaga, value dun sa pagbili ng kasi siyempre alam naman natin kung gaano ka bigat yung presyo ng mga
Oh.
flagship nila. So
While we're going to praise, sabi ni John Osorio of ASUS, basta pag di ko nakuha iPhone plan ko, bagsak ng phone funds ko. Well, that's an interesting comparison, but definitely not surprised because I think most people either go for Apple or Samsung right now.
Tsaka pala guys, yung mga may S21, kumbaga kasama kayo na-extend yung yung support.
Yeah.
So kung hindi nyo pa naman talaga kailangan magpalit ng phone, huwag nyo na muna bitawan.
Yeah.
If you guys wanna check out the article, it's written by Migs. It's on gadgetpilipinas.net. Moving on, I think let's go. I'll give a quick rundown of the Galaxy S22 and S22s. Plus, some of the specs include for the S22, it has a 6.1 dynamic AMOLED 2X display. We'll get to that in a bit. It has actually both these two devices are pretty much the same. The only difference is that the smaller Galaxy S22 has a smaller battery at 3700, while the S22 Plus has a 4500 milliampere battery. The rear cameras, they both have a 50 MP main camera, 12 MP ultra wide, 10 MP telephoto with 3x optical zoom, front camera of 10 MP, and the rest are pretty much the same. I think from what I've seen and from what I've written, the dynamic AMOLED 2x display offers a brighter is a brighter panel with up to 1750 nits of peak brightness. We haven't gotten our hands on a phone yet, but it seems interesting. Design wise, it looks like the S21 a bit more refined. What do you guys have to say, like, with the S22 and S22 Plus before we get to the headliner of the series, I think. Ooh.
Yeah. Sige. Who wants to go?
Before we go pala, Julian Robin CB says both S22 and S22 Plus have smaller batteries than S21 and S21 Plus. Thoughts? Go for it. Emman or whoever. Emman, I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Both are both receive a sort of downgrade, no? From in battery, the actual battery capacity.
Yeah.
But in a way, we'll have to see, no? We'll have to see as to how this affects the actual battery life. Kasi alam naman natin na battery life isn't just about the actual battery itself, no? It's a ton of factors that you can count there, no? Your usage habits, optimization, the software, the hardware, lahat. No, there are a ton of factors to consider in when you say na hindi matic hindi siya matic na mas maliit yung battery, mas mababa yung battery life.
True.
That's not exactly the case always, no.
Mhm.
But yun nga, since we don't have the phones yet, no, we have no way to know for now, no, kung gaano kalaki yung effect nun do sa battery life, sa actual battery life. But if it says anything about Samsung, no, what they're probably trying to say is we're so confident with our optimization
Mm.
and the hardware that it's very efficient, and we're confident with how we integrated software and hardware
Mhm.
such that we should be able to at least match or maybe a bit more
Mhm.
than the previous version. Parang ganun. That's probably what they're implying, no? That would be my guess, no?
Mm.
In terms of bakit ganon, no?
Mhm.
It just shows the company's confidence probably
Mm.
na in the optimization that they've done. No, but then again, that can be challenged by hindi alam naman natin na kahit anong test yung gawin mo,
Mm.
there will always be that user na may invalidate yung results mo na parang teka, paano niyan nagawa yun? Paano niya na-drain yung battery ng ganong kabilis? 'Di ba? May ganon. It's weird, no? Even when you're doing software testing, ganun eh.
Mm.
Talagang i-consider mo lahat ng pwedeng gawin ng pinakatanga sa mundo na 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 yung hihingan mo siya ng pangalan pero number yung ilalagay niya. 'Di ba?
Mm.
Yung ganong validation ba? Pero
Yeah.
talagang pag tinignan mo yung datang pumapasok, talagang may naglalagay talaga ng number doon sa pangalan. As in talagang okay. Like like yun yung hindi mo makukuha sa test. So
Mm.
it's really like a ton of what ifs, a ton of depende, a ton of what ifs.
Mhm.
But if it says anything about Samsung, it's their confidence, no, in
Mm.
what they've done. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's for me.
Migs or Grant, would you like to chime in?
Can you repeat the question? Hindi kasi may mga naisip akong side comments in what Emman said,
Oo.
but I don't want to steer away from the main topic.
No, the main question was,
Or the main
Magko-commercial ba
question.
tayo, Gran?
ay nako!
Grandsons?
Medyo ikaw na nagsimula, nag-init ka.
Ay
Hindi ako
nako,
nag-rant,
okay.
I'm just saying.
Ito na.
Na. I'm honest, go
So,
for it.
Go.
battery life, di ba?
Ah,
So, ito kasi yun eh. I think the whole industry, not just smartphones, hit a snag in battery production, innovation, whatever you might call it. Kasi
Hmm.
for the most part, we're still stuck with using lithium
Yeah.
for our batteries, diba? So which is lighter, and then it's generally lighter, and parang I think it carries the highest parang capacity.
Mhm.
So that's why brands are trying to compensate by having fast charging.
Mhm.
May mga gimmicks pa na, okay, we have 5 separate batteries on our phone so that you can charge 30 minutes faster.
Uh-huh.
Diba? 0 to 80 in 30 minutes or 0 to something in ganito. For the processor naman, I think that small power consumption,
Mhm.
it's kind of a trade-off kasi while processors are getting more and more efficient,
Mhm.
yung display naman and the number of cameras that they jack in, yun yung humihila again sa battery life. So, ayun nga, going with the S22 Ultra, ang daming
Mhm.
camera, ang daming megapixels. And then, from S22 and S22 Plus, while they do have smaller battery capacities, they only have 1080p screens. Whereas the S22 Ultra naman, you have 1440p screens
Mhm.
with yun nga, a larger battery capacity kasi you have a larger display.
Mhm.
So it's hard to do an apples to or apples to apples comparison, or say an S22 Plus and then Ultra comparison, kasi
Mhm.
hindi lang sila sa battery life may variants eh. So you have the
Mhm.
display, and then you have the number of cameras, you have the storage din, kasi 'di ba you have 12 gig variants for the Ultra. So when you want to compare, get the models or the variants with the least amount of variations to get accurate testing.
Mhm.
Ngayon, guys, for those yun nga yung mga special group of people na paborito ni Emman, before you call them out / call us out, better check if the reviewer, if the media, if the publication shares their testing methodology. Pag mas open,
Mm.
okay, 'di ba? It gives you the confidence as a reader, na okay, tama yung testing. Kasi if the publication nga is transparent, then kita mo na in good faith yung testing, not just being a sellout to the brands, So again, a reminder to check, with your respective reviewers. Kaya sa review namin, meron kaming tab lagi, benchmark setup and methodology.
Mhm.
Shameless plug.
Yung
Yeah.
But yeah,
May
going for
question
the
pala.
battery
Yeah.
life. Okay, go.
May question pala si Blank, no? Thoughts of naming convention daw on the Snapdragon. Is SD895 same with
Mhm.
SD8 Gen 1 or is there a
Mhm.
difference? According to Qualcomm, they've issued a statement na officially
Mm.
that there is no such thing as a Snapdragon 895.
Yeah.
So that's like wala. Wala talagang 895. Yun nga, as to where that 895 came from, hindi ko alam. Hindi namin alam sinong
Your
nagsabi,
guess is
who
as good as ours,
who
friends.
who said, and how it was able to trickle down to the press release, no?
Mm.
So
puro
hindi namin
speculations lang.
hindi namin alam paano nangyari 'yon. But again, sabi nga natin, 'di ba? Things happen, no? These
Yeah.
things happen. Wala namang hindi naman laging perfect launch, no?
Mm.
So there will always be
Mm.
some misunderstanding, some minor, minsan nagkaka-typo pa nga sa PR, 'di ba?
Oo.
Minsan nga nagkakaroon ng last minute changes, 'di ba? Sa pricing, sa
PR, let's
variants.
go.
Yeah, so 'yun. So those things
Um,
happen.
Balikan ko lang yung tanong ni Sir Julian CB,
Mm.
kung alin yung mas maganda yung battery life. Parang tiningnan ko may mga tiningnan akong benchmarks
Mm.
sa Exynos versus dun sa Snapdragon.
Hmm.
Pero yun nga, hindi ko sure kung 100% legit lahat ng tiningnan. Tatlo yung tiningnan ko eh. Parang sobrang konti lang nung lamang ng Snapdragon sa efficiency
Mm.
and sa consumption. So parang hindi siya ganun ka
It will depend naman kasi sa methodology on how you test it.
oo, yun din.
Baka kasi iba-iba tayo ng method ng pagte-test eh.
Mm.
Pwedeng ako kasi usually I use a benchmark tool, no?
Mhm.
But if that doesn't work, I just play a movie on loop, no?
Yep.
Tuloy-tuloy hanggang mamatay yung phone. And that's how I count, no? And some people have, their own software, their own actual benchmark suite that
Mm.
they use. So iba-iba yung methodology, no? But
Yes.
if we were to get a general idea of how phones have improved,
Mhm.
in the mid-range segment, by the way, wala pa akong phone na natetest. Like, out of the 4 or 5 phones I last tested,
Mhm.
wala akong minark sa kanila na lower than perfect score sa battery life. And all those phones have at least 90 hertz refresh rate. It
Mm.
means na medyo gumaganda na yung efficiency and optimization, no?
Halos
And
magkakadikit na.
that was testing them with, say, high refresh rate on all the time.
Mm. Yep.
So kasi dati kapag ganun, high refresh rate all the time, talagang bagsak yung screen time. As
Oh yeah, of
in,
course.
ngayon hindi na. That's not the case anymore.
Mm.
Apparently medyo nagkaroon na ng leap in terms of efficiency and optimization na they're scoring like double digit na, like umaabot ng 10, 11, no?
Oo, halos dikit-dikit na.
Bihira ka na lang
Mm.
makakuha ng 9 hours na something sa PC Mark, no?
Yeah.
So that says a lot, no, about how it improved. So we'll see, no. The only way to find out is, to have them really and text them. Yeah. Ayan, si
Uh,
John Nieves may question from Unbox.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, there's also the question of what part of the processor gets used when you're doing a battery test. Some tests have a higher focus on performance score, some of the efficiency
Yeah.
score. Yes, that's true.
Yes.
Kasi when you're using a
Very true.
software or activity, then ano ba yung ginagamit mo, no? Saan ka naka-focus? Kung nag-game ka, malamang yung performance scores yung talaga. So maraming factors, no?
Factors.
So
Yeah.
talagang ang makukuha mo lang dyan is like the general idea of eto yung range niya, no?
Yeah.
Ngayon,
At the end
depende
of
na
the
yan.
day,
Depende na sa gamit mo yan kung
yeah,
saan ka papasok doon sa range na yan.
depends on the users.
Kasi
Plus,
iba-iba naman tayo ng gamit eh.
plus there's also the importance of bloatware, 'di ba? Kung ilan yung naka-install na apps, are you testing it on a fresh reformat or fresh boot versus if you're testing it with all the apps and games or
Sobrang daming
kung ano man
variables.
tracker na, 'di ba? Kung anong background apps yung nakabukas. Plus, are you testing on Wi-Fi? Are you
Yep.
testing on 50% brightness?
Yeah.
Madami.
Temperature.
Sobrang dami.
Even
Yes,
I love-
actually
even
may
the
factor yun
temperature.
if controlled yung temperature mo
Even the
in the
temperature.
testing, di ba?
Even the temperature.
At the end of the day, I think my takeaway from this is it really depends on your day to day. Like you can only get as much. Like you can only get as much as you can from benchmarks of other people. But a true benchmark would be how you use your phone and how it is in your hands. Because we again, as we've said many times, is that there are we use our phones differently. Like I personally sometimes just don't use my phone in an entire day, or I just watch YouTube, or while there's some people that play Mobile Legends or whatever game the entire day, so that burns that out. So I think the best way to figure it out is one, hopefully bigyan tayo ng baka naman maybe
Maybe.
bigyan
Go.
tayo ng Dragon and Exynos, assuming it comes out, diba?
Yeah.
For us to try, for us to share with you guys the results of our
Yep.
tests, and we'll give you an idea of what we actually did with the reviews, right? Yeah. Oh, by the way, shout out kay Unbox, si John Nieves nandito. How you doing, John?
Yes, one.
Oh, go. Sorry.
Yeah, and I want to shout out din kay Jan na who works sometimes more than 18 hours a day. Nakita ko kasi yung Facebook post niya na we are very hardworking people, no?
Ano yung 18
So,
hours a
just
day
a
na yan.
PSA, some of us work 18 hours a day more than. The
Hindi
number
mo
one
na.
prime example
Bakit
are
18
medical
hours?
workers po.
Bakit ba 18 hours a day? Ano bang di ba pwedeng 19, 20, pwedeng...
May backstory ba to?
Yeah.
Wala naman. I just nakita ko lang kasi yung
Note na
yung
yung
post
18
niya
hours a
before we
day.
went live. So it's
Oo.
very fresh pa sa memory ko.
Sa memory, yeah.
Yes.
For those of you that are tuning in to the stream or listening to the podcast, Gian is in our ears laughing and clapping after you heard the 18 hours.
Hello everyone.
Just to give you an idea of
Kamusta kayo?
what we're he says, kamusta daw kayo? Sabi ni Gian. Shout out kay Gian. I think, like, with that said, we can move on to the I think the headliner of the S22.
Before we move pala, sorry.
Go.
Before we move,
Go.
I have one question for you guys, no?
Oh.
Because I think, in terms of design, no?
Yeah.
In terms of design, compared to the S21 series, no?
Mhm.
Do you think Samsung could have done better?
With the Ultra or the S21? Oh,
S20
the
with the
S22, sorry.
S22, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they could have done better?
Yeah. I think I'd want to hear Grant or Migs first.
Sige,
Since
right.
they're medyo fresh yung ano na, yung take nila.
For phones, I don't care much about the design. Honestly, kasi for example, my
Okay.
phone, I have the OnePlus 8 Pro, so it's a bit dated.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
then again, yun, may case siya. And some of us put skins, no? Sobrang uso ng paglagay ng skins.
Yeah.
D-brand, maybe please. This is a D-brand,
Wow.
I forgot which series. Jerry-rig everything na ano,
Oh,
background
that
transparent.
bear, yeah.
But then, ayun nga, I don't care much about the design. Basta hindi siya hassle, ibulsa, or yung parang nakakasugat yung edges niya. Well, most phones naman na medyo curved yung edges. What's important for me is that it feels good in the hand. So yun, it's mainly about ergonomics. And then everything follows na. For the color variation, I don't like yung main photo nila or color variant na pinapakita nila in the product photos. I wish they could have gone with a more neutral colorway. Yung parang default nila for promotion, but I guess ito yung bagong colorway nila which they have to promote, 'di ba? So, yeah, that's it for me.
Ikaw, Migs. So what
Ah.
what do you think?
Sa akin naman kasi isang beses pa lang akong nakakahawak ng S21 eh. So yung nakikita ko yung comparison ko sa S21 and S22 medyo hindi gano'n parang kadetalyado. Pero feeling ko, oo, parang siguro may puwede pa silang i-push na ibang parts, aesthetically speaking, na parang kasi halos parang magkamukha lang yung
Ah.
yung ano, eh, yung top of the line ngayon tsaka yung last gen, eh. So, medyo lazy design yung dating niya para sa'kin. Pero yun nga, baka siguro 'pag hawak mo na baka
Iba na.
maiba yung ano.
Yung baka iba sa personal, no?
Oo, eh,
totoo.
May ganun
yun
eh,
yung
may
isip
ganun
ko,
eh.
eh.
May maraming ganong
Parang ano
phones.
yun eh, parang shota yan minsan. Ano pala?
Relax.
Countdown
Pagkausap
till
sa chat,
Valentine's.
Uminit yung
pait-pait,
kwarto, ah.
pait-pait. Kala mo tunog anghel, pagkita mo,
Relax.
Uminit, ah.
Relax. Before we derail.
Ay, wait lang guys
Anyway.
pala,
3 days before
naalala ko lang kanina kasi may nag-comment, gusto yata nilang for, Sir Emman and Ram, gusto yata nilang malaman yung details about the S Pen.
We'll get to that when we get to the
Okay,
Ultra.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
May nagtanong kasi kanina, eh.
Yeah. Thanks for the reminding.
Yes.
Well, anyway,
For
yeah.
ako
Sige.
to compare the S22 and the S21, actually I prefer I kind of wish they did a kind of mix and match of both. Because currently the S22, guys haven't seen it, it kind of has the same camera bump of the S21. So
Yeah,
parang siyang
it does.
ganon na nakaangat. But
It
it's
does.
smaller and it doesn't occupy as much of the top and sides of it. I kind of like the side and I kind of like the overcrop of it. Of the S21. Now it just looks like it's actually the way I see it is either they didn't like it too much, or like they heard the complaints and whatever, so they pulled back, or another way I can think of it is that this should have come first and then the new one, then with the S22 S21 rather. But honestly, I'm kind of alright with the design. It kind of looks cleaner. So it in a way it's like them learning from the previous generation and reiterating it in a different way. So I think visually, based on the photos, because I've never seen either devices with my own eyes, nor have I held them. It looks like this is a more refined version. It looks less experimental, because it kind of has the a cleaner camera module. That's how I saw it, and I think that's how I described it. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not good. It is what it is. That's
Yep.
my take on it. Yeah.
Okay. Blanc, with regards
Oh.
to GPU, since Exynos partnered with AMD for RDNA architecture, do you think the current SD8 Gen 1 can do it also with regards to features, VRS
Hmm.
and ray tracing?
Teki.
Ayan.
Hmm. I
So, kukunin ko na ba
go
question?
for it. Go for it. Go for
Go.
it. Go for it.
Go. Yeah.
So, Sir Blank, if you haven't watched our
First
podcast
episode. Yeah.
last month, first episode, we touched a bit here. We touched a bit of that topic last episode,
Mhm.
but to reiterate or to add more details, uh so we have two features, diba? Ray tracing and variable rate shading. Now,
Mm.
the AMD or AMD GPU, aka the Eclipse, has hardware accelerated ray tracing. So, like in the PC space, there's a big performance difference on GPUs that have hardware accelerated ray tracing, such as RTX and the latest AMD 6000, versus non GPUs that have no hardware accelerated ray tracing, like the GTX series and the previous RX 5000 series and below. Now, if
Mm.
we were to mimic that with the mobile phones, since it's AMD RDNA 2,
Mhm.
yes, there's a big difference, and I believe your question is if pwede or hindi, no? Yes, it's definitely doable on the Snapdragon, but the question is it bearable, 'di ba?
Mm.
Which, to answer, hindi, kasi hardware having stuff on the hardware side brings a lot of advantages. Now, for variable rate shading, it's a feature that it's usually implemented on the API side of things. So
Mhm.
I guess that's a bit easier for Snapdragon to implement. But in hardware ray tracing, I guess that's a pass for the current Snapdragon Gen 1, no?
Mhm.
Uh Ayun, but I will add a question to your question na, do we have games that take advantage of ray tracing in the
Yep.
mobile space? Kasi last
Yep.
last month yan yung pinaka-issue natin, 'di ba? Not to
Mm.
mention my quick rant na about the 120 hertz display na hindi naman naka-enable sa
Rant.
mga games. So, ayan.
Ayan na.
But then again, this is the start. It's a Gen 1 hardware, so we should be optimistic, no? But then
Dadating din.
again, glass half full kind of guy na the RDNA2 is available on the Exynos side, which only Samsung produces, plus is only available on Samsung phones. Now, I'd like to see how other phone brands react to this, 'di ba?
Mhm.
Yung if they would demand to Snapdragon na, hey, maglabas din kayo ng AMD GPU.
Mm.
And well, if Apple sees ray tracing then as a viable option for games, but I don't think Apple will implement this within the next 5 years, kasi it took them so long to implement 120 hertz, and we're only starting to see the effects of them applying it, 'di ba?
Alam mo naman yung style, Grant, eh. Unti-unti.
'Di ba? Yeah,
Ano muna, 90 hertz muna, 90 hertz.
90
90
hertz muna.
muna.
Patikim sa use
Tapos
case.
90 hertz. Ah.
Saka for me,
Sayang
ito
eh,
din,
sayang.
bagong pasok lang dito sa akin. On that small display, how are you going to appreciate that tiny reflection of shadow, or that
Mismo,
tiny
mismo.
reflection of fire na
Well,
makikita mo sa laro
Yan
mo?
din yung iniisip ko eh.
Especially if your fingers are covering it, 'di ba, while playing. Like, uy, retracing, di mo makita. Diba?
tama ba yung
But then again, di ba?
tama ba yung pagkakaintindi ko na is it the same question with laptops na when you go 4K
Yeah.
on
On a
on an 18-inch
dense
screen.
screen, yeah.
Di ba?
Diba?
Di
Ang
ba?
cute
Parang it's just a matter of just because you can,
Oo,
diba?
parang gano'n.
Yeah, anyway.
And ayun pa, another idea nakakapasok lang.
This just
Sige,
Paano
in.
kung,
sige.
di ba, this just in sa isip ni Grant.
We have until
Since
mga
in-implement
pa
ang
naman,
RDNA2
5.
architecture sa Exynos phones,
Hmm.
in the near future kaya mapangmamay na natin ng sobra yung mga phones natin.
Ayan
Kasi di ba
na.
nag-use yun
Ay,
dati,
nako
di ba?
po.
I wouldn't be
You have that,
surprised.
especially that we're using the same type of SSD din sa phones and PC. We have the
Doble na yung
high-speed
presyo ng
memory din,
phones.
di ba? You have DDR5, ganyan. So, parang ang daming factors before we could appreciate that ray tracing technology. But then again, it's here.
Oo.
It's finally here. Matitikman na ng mga ML plebs yung na-experience natin sa PC.
Oh, relax.
Oh!
Easy. Easy, Grant. Easy.
Oh! Pipilit lalo.
Guys, it's my sariling opinion.
But yeah, ayoko nang dumating dyan sa games. So yun. So let's be
Ah.
optimistic.
Okay.
Yan din yung
Okay.
naiisip
So,
ko
Di ba
sa
PC
ano eh.
Master Race?
Yan din yung naiisip ko sa ray tracing eh. Parang unless siguro parang yung mga Steam Deck, mga gano'n na pwede mong ilabas sa mas malalaking screen. Pero yun nga pag sa phone parang ang hirap makita. Sakit sa mata.
Yeah.
do you
But
think this is something? I wonder if it's something that they can. If I connect it to a monitor, because we know that there are phones like the Samsung that uses DeX.
Yep.
If I play on my phone and it has ray tracing, will I enjoy that benefit? You know, because I think that's one way of pushing the plugging in your phone to
Sana.
a monitor thing. You know,
Mismo.
Sana. Yeah.
right?
We can only
Magandang ano yan.
dream and hope.
Yes, but I have a counter
Okay.
argument.
Ayan
Pag
Okay,
sinaksak
go.
mo sa TV or monitor,
Ah.
you will lose the 120 hertz capability on your phone kasi sa monitor ka na nakatingin. So,
And then 120 hertz yung monitor.
Kailangan 120
ba't di ka na lang
din,
nag-PC kung 120 hertz yung monitor mo?
Ayan na. PC Master Race. Let's
There's
go.
argument,
Let's
no?
go.
Grant.
Yes,
There's
yes.
argument. Anyway.
Grant. Ang masasabi ko lang, halos kasi yung presyo ng, let's say, Galaxy S22, halos ka presyo na yung, yung PC. Some people can't have both. So, it's an option. At least the option is there.
Yeah, so the option could be buy a gaming PC 30K, buy an S21 Ultra.
Oh.
Yeah. Exactly.
Mobility lang talaga yung habol.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's for specific use cases naman.
Shout out
And
kay
we respect
Vince
that.
Household.
Bakit
Yes,
yes, ang
ayan.
galit ni Grant?
Okay na, Grant. Meron pa?
Okay, I think I'm good.
Napigana.
Okay na, nalabas ko na yung sa loob.
So that's your dose of Grant's rants for today.
For
Akala
this episode.
namin kanina hindi makakaabot si Grant. So walang Grant's rants today. Nakaabot siya. So, di ba? Okay guys. No? Again, guys, if you want a regular episode of Grant's rants, let us know. Sabihin niyo, kung gusto niyo yung isang oras siyang nagagaganyan.
Grabe.
Okay na. Let us know. Ayan.
Comment it on the YouTube on this this stream if you guys want Grant's rants. If you're listening on what is it, Spotify or whatever podcast platform, you can go to our Facebook, Gadget Pilipinas, and comment there. Hey, where's Grant's rants?
Or gawa kayong petition. Grant's.
Grant's rant or riot?
Anyway,
Riot.
tumalo na tayo sa performance, no? Nasa design pa lang tayo. Bihira.
Yeah.
Anyway, what I think about the design, simple lang. I wish they could have implemented the same design language of the Ultra into the other variants, no? Kasi parang may FOMO feel no? In a way. Na, okay, sige, you have an S22 device. Pero mas maganda yung phone niya. Parang naman kayo naka S22 ba't iba yung itsura? Diba? Ba't parang medyo underwhelming yung sa akin? But yung Ultra, di ba? Parang medyo may pagkaganon eh. So I wish they carried over the same design language to across the entire lineup. That would have been nice. No, imagine even the base variant looks like a Note minus the S Pen.
Yeah.
So, di ba? Parang ang ganda, di ba? So, I hope that they consider it for the S. Kung ano man yung susunod, no? Ayan.
While
Next.
we're on the topic of S22 Ultra, it is the biggest of the S22 series. It has a 6.8 dynamic AMOLED 2X display. It has 120 hertz refresh rate, 240 hertz touch sampling rate on game mode. But in the rear camera is where it really differs from its siblings. It has a 108 MP wide, so that's the main camera. It has a 12 MP ultra wide, and it has two telephoto lens, both at 10 MP, but one is at 10x and the other is at 3x. So this means that you can shoot to what 100x space zoom, I think.
100x space
Yeah,
zoom. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
So that's pretty insane.
Galit ng zoom.
But what's most unique about the device is that there's a compartment for the S Pen at the bottom of the device. So this is basically taking over the Galaxy Note series, which we did not see a release last year. So I'm guessing and assuming that they already officially merged the S and the Note series to make room for the full devices. What are your hot takes and opinions on the S22 Ultra before I give mine? Let's go with, let's see, Grant. I think would be interesting.
Well, S Pen. So personally, I don't see writing on a phone. But then again,
Yun din iniisip ko eh.
yeah, it's from my perspective.
Yeah.
Parang wala akong paki sa mga phones.
Get
Personally, I don't care ganyan. Pero but still,
Yeah.
I can see the need or use for some people, especially back then nung before COVID when I was still attending events na marami talaga nagsusulat using phone. I've been to a doctor na who records parang pag nagsasalita ako when you're explaining kung may sakit ganyan. He takes notes on the note phone, which is very say convenient, diba? But now going from the S22 Plus or S22 basic line to the Ultra na my S Pen, I think the value will become much clearer if we can confirm kung may note pa ba or wala. Kasi if there's a note series, so what will be the differentiating factor between the two series? And plus, won't it undercut the note series kasi supposedly the S series is cheaper or basically a more budget-friendly version kasi you have a lower starting memory configuration, storage configuration. No, but for now, I guess for those who don't want a Note, or basically ayaw nila ng Note by name, you have the S22 Ultra for your pen needs. But then again, I think time will tell, no, if this is a
Yeah.
good move or not, especially kung may Note nga ba o hindi. And with that, I have no idea. I am going in blind with the Note series kasi ang
Yeah.
pinakahuling subscribed news ko lang with the Note series is the exploding version. Which
Oh
is
my god.
sorry Samsung na bring up.
Ayan na.
Yun. Parang delikado yung mga sinasabi ko as the minute passes.
Painit ng painit.
Hanggang sumabog.
Hanggang sumabog na.
At ayun nga, actually ayun, naka-tune in ako ngayon dun sa article namin na for the S22 Plus is priced, unahan ko na kaya, is priced at 57K round up versus the Ultra at 69K. Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Nice.
the quick math, ilang K difference yung base variants? almost 10,000
Around
plus.
lagpas 10, yeah.
Tama ba? Yeah, lagpas 10,000
Yeah.
plus. So,
Yung S Pen
battery
lang yun.
capacity and times 2 megapixel camera aside, is that the same, before I go on, is that the same price jump dati sa S2 Note line? Kasi basically, that's the premium of the pen na eh. And
Yeah.
the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So kung sa tingin nyo na worth it yung ganong premium with the convenience of having to write something on your phone, then we won't judge. Pera nyo yan eh. But yeah, yun. Same price ba? Yun din ba yung around same
I
jump ng premium? Kasi if not,
based
then
on
yeah.
memory, I think it's roughly the same, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's
kasi
roughly the
sasabihin ko sana if it's a much higher if yung jump ngayon from S22 to Ultra with the pen is much higher, then we can see it as a milking move from Samsung. Diba?
Mhm.
Kasi the pen has always been there. And then why increase the price now? But yun nga,
Yeah.
coming from memory ni RAM, no?
It should be
If
roughly the
it's the
same,
same,
yeah.
yeah, it's the same. Then it's up to the user to decide, no?
Mhm.
And yeah, wala talaga akong masabi sa pen kasi my penmanship's not that good to begin with, no, kahit digital. So, yeah.
Migs, anong masasabi mo sa Ultra? Design-wise, because it's different, S Pen because it's different, camera.
Yun nga, design-wise, parang kailangan ko siyang siguro makita nga in person bago ko siya mabigyan ng comment. Tapos yung regarding the S Pen, parang same kami ni Grant ng iniisip. Kasi ako, wala din akong medyo pakialam sa sulat-sulat sa phone eh. Kasi
Yeah.
never din akong bumili ng flagship na phone kasi kumbaga yung phone para sa akin, makatawag, maka-message lang ako, okay na.
Utilitarian.
So parang parang yung S Pen talaga niche lang na customers yung talagang makaka-appreciate sa kanya.
Fair.
That's it.
Fair. Ikaw, Emman. Ano masabi mo sa Ultra?
The Ultra, I mean, yeah, it looks very, very, really good for me. Yes, it looks like a Note. No, mukhang they really took inspiration from the Note, and they added some new touches to it, like wala na yung camera bump, no, wala na yung malaking camera bump that was really, I wouldn't say annoying from the S21, but Ultra, but it was like it was a hot topic there.
Yeah.
Hot topic yung ano na yan eh, yung camera bump na yan. And now it's gone, no? On the S22. As for the S Pen, no? I personally know somebody na very hardcore Note fan. No, even she had the Note 1 from the very first Note up to a certain ngayon ibang brand na gamit niya. So hindi ko lang sabihin yung brand. But I also worked with a company before na who does training for Samsung products. So the S Pen, it's not for everybody. No, it's not for everybody. Not everyone uses it. No. But there's yun nga, marami ring taong gumagamit sa kanya. And they added, a lot of some new features, no, parang I think mas accurate na siya ngayon in terms of handwriting. So yun, definitely it's like a tool that's there when you need it, I guess. When you really need to take a note, kasi may mga times talaga that you'll have to take a note na parang mabilis talaga, mabilis ang kailangan note. And then you need that, no? But parang do you buy it for that? So parang depende. Yeah. Depende sa usage mo. But ako, I wouldn't buy it for that. Kasi hindi ako masulat. I only use the S Pen nung may hawak akong Note before, when I was using the Note was as a test device before. I think it was the Note 4 at the time. Talaga sobrang minsan ko lang gamitin yung S Pen. For testing purposes lang talaga. I rarely found any instance, no, during my personal parang day-to-day activities wherein I really have to pull it out and use it na, kailangan mong ano, except for a very few instances, no. So yun, I guess it really depends din sa yung gamit mo, eh, no. Even if I guess even if it's not your thing, no, kung talagang gusto mo yung, you're really in there for the big screen and, the higher storage, no? I guess you buy the Ultra, no? Regardless of whether it has an S Pen or not. No, so parang magiging extra feature na lang yan sa'yo kung kailangan mo siya. Ganun. Yeah. But it really looks nice. Yeah. Yun na siya. Yun tingnan. Lalo na yung burgundy.
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 Ako, okay. Hot take on the S22 Ultra is, for me, visually, it looks like a Note merged with an A series device.
Mhm.
The back of the phone looks like it came from the A series, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not an S series. It's not an S series design for me. I think it was one of the A series devices last year that kind of had a similar design. So if you guys are listening to the podcast, the cameras are basically flush with the phone in the back. So no camera bump, no camera module, no nothing, just the lens. So the holes on the back. I think there's one A series device kind of looks like that, for me that's not really my cup of tea. Again, it'll have to depend on how it feels in the hand, because it looks like it's a matte. It looks like a matte finish, kind of metallic, in the back, which is all right, by me. But again, the back could be better. I honestly like the S21 design more than the S22 Ultra, simply because the S22 Ultra looks like a serious device. As for the S Pen, I think it's, as many of my colleagues here have said, is that I think the S22 Ultra will come down to, do you want the specs and have a pen on the side as an add-on? I think that's how it will come down to.
Yeah.
Unless you're a fan of the Note series, and because it did not come out last year, it would be a good upgrade. Let's say you have I think the last one is a Note 10, and you were waiting for the one last year, it did not come out, didn't upgrade or anything because you're waiting for a Note series, but it didn't. I think this is a really good device for you if you're looking for an an S series device. Probably, yeah, and you just have an S Pen as an extra, which could, I don't know, you could possibly lose. And let's say you use it and you leave it somewhere, that's unfortunate. But again, I think it's a good device, especially if the cameras perform well, because we don't have the devices to actually see how it performs in real world. So all we have are the photos that we took and the spec sheets. Yeah, it's honestly the S22 Ultra look wise is not for me. Feature wise, it's all right. It's a flagship device with with a pen. The pen I can do with or without it. It really doesn't matter. I'd rather whip out a notebook and a pen, an actual pen, than bring out the phone. Because if I have a random thought while I'm walking or something,
Random name.
random, exactly. Di siya mahablot sa akin pag naglabas ko ng notebook and pen versus a Galaxy device. So it really, I'd rather bring out a notebook and pen. That's just me. But yeah, S22 series, is it good or bad? One last go around. Is it good or bad? Versus the S21. Let's start with Migs, and then go Grant, and then Emman for the last, and then yeah. Migs, what do you think of the S22 series? Like overall?
overall siguro para sa'kin parang maliit lang talaga yung 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 in-improve niya sa halos lahat ng aspects. So, parang siguro kailangan natin antayin yung real world benchmarks or yung mga experience ng mga tao para malaman talaga yung extent nung parang kung gaano siya kalamang dun sa predecessor. Yan.
Ikaw, Grant. Anong... I know you're not too much into Samsung and its
Inunahan
device.
mo na.
Oh,
Yeah.
but what
So-
what do you think of the S22 series?
I think with the S22, Samsung is playing tango. So they're experimenting on what will stick versus what will they need to remove next generation. Kasi parang it's a mix and match. They improve the camera, they improve the processor, they included a processor with a different brand processor. They included the pen with the flagship. So parang they're dancing on what do they want to achieve or how do they want to position the S22 line. No, kasi you have the foldables now, which is a thing na dati the perception from the market is it's a gimmick, tawag dun, it's a gimmick, it's only a throwback. It only wants to attract the older people, no, who are used to flip phones, mga ganyan. But then again, they pulled it off to the point where they have two kinds of foldables, yung vertical and horizontal. So I guess let's not be that pessimistic towards Samsung. But then again, we have to acknowledge on the risky move that they took with the S22 line, no, especially with the AMD GPUs na it could have been much better if they had one game that could take advantage, or if at least they announce a number of developers who plan to support this collaboration between Samsung and AMD, especially that they are PC developers who are also mobile game developers. Now for the price, I believe I can't comment that much since ang tingin ko dyan isang RTX 3080 lang siya. Lang mo. And comparing to the S21 Ultra or S21 series in general, I believe the improvements are just about normal for on what you would expect for flagship phone, since mas mabilis yung cycle niya compared to what I'm used to with PCs. And I guess that's the limit for the phone industry. No, it shows in flagship phones. But then again, yun nga, we have to acknowledge or at least give Samsung credit where credit is due, that they're trying to innovate somewhere. No, and that somewhere is the implementation of AMD GPU. Now, how the industry will react moving forward is something that we should all look forward to.
Yeah.
To see.
Yeah. So
True.
that's for me.
Emman?
Hindi ako galit.
Very level-headed.
Baka meron pa. Yan.
Wala na.
Very level-headed. I'm proud of you.
Baka meron pa. Okay lang.
Should we mention din ba na ba't walang charge? May charger ba na included?
We haven't
Ibang topic
asked.
bigla.
We don't know. Probably not.
So walang charger. So they followed the trend, and I hope as a gamer, I hope more brands would be open to this kind of change, no? Baka malay natin, di natin alam kung tong S22 Ultra pala or the AMD to Exynos combination is Samsung's way of trying to sell the Exynos chipset to the rest of the phone manufacturers, 'di ba? Kasi they have to expand somewhere. May appliances sila, may ano na sila, why not conquer the phone industry, 'di ba? They already produce some of the chips in the PC space. They have memory, 'di ba? Why not conquer them all?
Yep.
Wala pa silang mousepad. Ay.
Ikaw, Emman, what do you think of the S22 series? To wrap things up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. I think what some people, well, on honestly, nung una kasi, I found the changes, honestly, the upgrades, a bit underwhelming, no?
Yeah.
Parang kulang, no? But if you actually think about it now, no, and this is also influenced by one review I saw, no, which made a really good point, no.
Mhm.
What Samsung tried to do here is, not add too many new things, no,
Mhm.
but those things that are useful to the users talaga,
Mhm.
yung non-gimmicky features, they refined it. They refined those features, they improved on those features. Like, for example, yung video nila. Yung stable video stabilization nila. Ngayon, yung sensor niya can now compensate for more movement. No? So, when you're doing vlogging, mas stable ngayon yung videos mo. And then the pixels can now absorb or receive more light pa. So you get brighter shots, no? So in parang kumbaga what they did was look for the features that really matter, no?
Mhm.
And just improve on them. No, make them so much better, no? Kasi in reality, yun naman yung gagamitin mo eh, 'di ba? That's what you'll use the phone for, no? You'll be taking photos, you'll be taking videos. So maybe they thought, eh di doon tayo mag-focus, 'di ba? Lagyan natin ng konting addition, pero let's improve on the features na talagang gagamitin ng users. And that's good thinking from them, no? Kasi these things aren't parang sa una kasi pag tiningnan mo yung spec sheet parang yun lang yung nagbago, no? Pero when you actually dig deep into what improvements they made, you'll realize na yeah, it does make sense, no? No, that these changes should not always be limited to what you can see on the spec sheet, no? But rather parang yung technology sa ilalim ng kada feature na yun, yung hardware sa ilalim ng kada feature na yun, that's not mentioned in the spec sheet.
Yeah.
No? Price-wise, and if you'll actually see yung gap nung price, lalo na sa Ultra, no? Yung pinakamurang S21, yung pinakamahal na S21 is now the cheapest or the most affordable S22 Ultra. Ganun yung price gap, malaki. Malaki yung price gap. No? 80,000 na yung cap, no? Yung pinakamahal na S22, no? Ultra. And I guess that's like the combination of many factors, no? One probably is yung logistical issues probably due to the pandemic, the chip shortage, no? Kung mapapansin niyo yung freebies, no? Yung freebies, di ba? Medyo underwhelming din in a way, no? Dati, nung may Note, naalala ko, may pa-TV pa sila eh.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Ngayon, ano na lang, what do you get? A buds and a case and some tag.
Jacket, di joke.
Wala eh. Ano ba yun? I forgot. But it's there, no? But you sort of see the impact now, no? That the the pandemic itself, no, and the chip shortages and everything, nagko-compound sila into one impact na makikita mo na eh. Parang yung ibang restaurant ba na nagbabawas ng serving.
Yeah.
Ganun na eh, mapapansin mo na siya. So I wouldn't be surprised if other brands follow suit, no? But which is also the interesting thing because the thing with Samsung kasi sila yung nauna. So it's like dahil nauna sila, everyone else now has a view of ito yung kaya nilang gawin. So what can we do better? Yun yung parang sa akin this is of showing early, no? Early into the year, no? February pa lang eh, no? So it gives your competitors a ton of chances to make their products better, no? Parang I don't know if that's enough time, but surely they can do something, no? Na, ayun. But, so yun nga, like Grant said, it's gonna be a very interesting thing to know how the market will respond. But if you're a fan of the Note series, and you really want all those functionalities, no, ng S Pen, and you want the better overall package, I think the if you can afford the Ultra, get the Ultra, no? Kasi nandun yung full impact talaga ng lahat ng changes eh.
Yeah.
No,
There you go. Last words of Emman, if you have the budget, go for Ultra. Let's go. So that's been a long discussion of various things of the Galaxy S22 series, including mostly the processor. Actually, we spent a lot of time on the processor.
It's okay.
We ran through the design. We went through a bit of the specs of each device. I hope you guys enjoyed. Honestly, if you want more details on the devices, we have a lot. We have an omnibus. We have everything you need to know, written by Mr. Gian Viterbo himself. On, as Grant mentioned earlier, he also has InFocus on Emman has InFocus on the individual devices. If you guys are very curious on each, like on a specific device of the series, you can check those out. These are all on gadgetpilipinas.net. You can like us on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and you can also check out news every week. Mr. Gian Viterbo releases them every Thursday, I think. That's Weekend Tech, and he also releases a video every Friday. So you can, if you guys enjoyed listening, watching the topic today, which is the Galaxy S22 series, you can check us out on YouTube, give us a subscribe, hit the bell, do the awesome things for the YouTube.
Don't forget to
Samsung.
share.
Samsung,
Yeah.
let's go.
Share.
Ay, Ram, sorry.
Yes.
May question daw.
Oh,
Saan daw nila makikita yung written version ng Grand Stats?
Yun.
Yung magkakaroon daw ba ng section na ganun sa website natin?
Abangan nyo.
Abangan nila.
Yeah.
Abangan nyo.
We can also if you want a review that should come up soon, also on the website. I'm not sure if Gian will release a video version of it. He most likely will, but always check out our website, gadgetpilipinas.net. You can check out facebook.com/gadgetpilipinas or our YouTube, Gadget Pilipinas. And stay tuned for future content on the Galaxy S22 series, because we're far from done, for sure. Because we haven't gotten our hands on either or on any of the devices.
Yeah.
So that's before we end, a quick run through what can people expect from you, Mr. Migs Palispis? What's going down for you? Anong expect nila sa'yo for the next month or so?
Next month, wala naman. Tuloy lang ang pagsusulat ng news. Tsaka tuloy lang ang pag-aaral ng tech. Para sa sunod na mga podcast, mas may mabigay na akong mga puntos.
Let's go. Ikaw, Grant, any new reviews? May guesting ka ba? What can people expect?
So, for this month, I've finished benchmarking the RTX 3050 and 6500 XT. I have more 3050 variants to come. Expect my reviews to come out around probably next week after Valentine's, kasi wala pa akong ka-date. Yung PC ko lang po with the benchmarks.
Guys, alam nyo na.
So, yeah, for those looking to buy, hold
Stay
on
tuned.
a bit longer, no? Wait for our reviews. And if you haven't seen our latest build guide, meron pa kami bagong pinublish na video on our Facebook and YouTube page. If you have a 70K budget, no, kung ayaw nyo mag S22 Ultra, you might want to check that out. And yeah, I guess that's it for me.
All right.
New GPUs and new build guides featuring the 3050 and or the RX 6500 XT.
Last Emman, really quick.
Uh,
Can expect.
you can expect also you can expect from our team, no, a couple of laptop reviews incoming.
Mhm.
Yeah, Asus laptops,
Yes.
to be specific. No? We have two of them on board. We're also hoping to get another one, the UX425, for a feature article.
Mhm.
And for me, you can probably expect a couple of videos upcoming, unboxing and probably quick review of the Nanoleaf wooden panels that I bought a few weeks ago,
Mhm.
and some written reviews for a lot of phones, I guess.
Okay.
Marami tayong phones. Then may TV din actually. May TV din. Uh, Yun. And probably a few TWS headphones. No?
Can expect a lot of reviews from Emman.
Yep, sobra kasi ang daming nasa queue.
Oh,
Nasa queue as in. So, ayan.
quick rundown. You guys can expect a lot of reviews from Gadget Pilipinas. That's it for Blip Bytes episode 2. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.